So for me, it started at the end of my sophomore year in high school, and I was home alone and I suddenly had this panic attack that if I fall asleep I'm going to die. I don't know, it just came out of nowhere, and then the next day it hasn't really gotten any better. I thought that I was just dying. I didn't feel my heartbeat, and that was extremely scary to me. I actually called my grandmother to come all the way to my home to be with me because I felt like, yeah, it's gonna end for me. She came and measured my pressure and all that, and everything was fine, although I felt like there was no heartbeat whatsoever. From then on, this has basically continued through every day. It lasted the entire summer basically. Every night, the moment I was starting to fall asleep, I felt like if I fall asleep I'm going to die. So I didn't want to, so I was waking up, trying to fall asleep, waking up, and it's just this battle, mind over tiredness. Right now when I'm talking about it, just feels like so stupid and strange, and I suppose if you're going through this, people probably think that you just are making a big deal out of stuff that are not there. But I remember at that time it felt very, very real, and it felt like it's going to kill me and it's never gonna end. And basically every day I was certain that I'm going to die, that this is the last day of my life. Different things were making me think that I am dying. I know I had like a weird rash on my neck. I thought that the rash was some sort of disease that was never discovered before, and I had that. I had some severe like chest pains, sort of couldn't breathe. I couldn't feel my back if I touched it, and I just felt like something on my body wasn't working right. And that really lasted for almost 3 months before my parents got me professional treatment. One of the problems with me was that I never really opened up to people, and I didn't talk about my feelings whatsoever, so that was really hard for me to actually speak out about myself. And after that hour of counseling, I got hypnotized by another doctor. I was supposed to come back once we returned from our holiday, and I didn't because I know it's really pricey and I didn't want my parents to pay for it. At that point I realized that it was all in my head, and just that realization basically was the key. Now that I look back at it, I think one of the causes, besides gathering my feelings and keeping them inside, not speaking out about them, besides that, there was also many deaths in my circle of people in the same time or period. Like, so many people died, and I went to so many funerals, and I think that was the idea that I got in my head, that I'm going to die as well. It just went overboard with my imagination. First of all, I was scared for my life because I thought I was going to die, and then I was scared for my life because I was more and more realizing that this anxiety is taking over my life, and that I do not have it in my hands. And that was really scary because I didn't dare to do anything because of that. I didn't dare to go to the roller coasters, for example. I remember that instance where I was too scared to go up there, because if I had a panic attack on top of it, which I could because I was getting panic attacks being scared of getting a panic attack, so I was basically projecting everything onto myself. Me and my friends went to Dublin for the first time that summer, and I was really scared to go because I knew that I probably will get panic attacks and anxiety while I will be there. Maybe I could get it on a plane, maybe I would get it while my friends were there, and it would just look weird, and they would think I'm crazy, or maybe they didn't know how to help. I had some medication that I could take if I felt like I really needed to calm down, but I never took it. I packed it with me to Dublin in case I needed it, but I think just being so brave to go there made me realize in my mind that I cannot afford to put myself in that position. So I was very focused on not getting a panic attack and trying to be like, yeah, it's just in your head, you're fine, you're having the time of your life, and everything went by smoothly, which I really am happy for. I think that was also one of my steps where I realized that I can do stuff by myself and beat this anxiety that I have. I didn't want to go to therapy anymore because it was expensive and because I fucking hated it. I know it's really bad to not go to therapy now, I know that, but I was 17 at that time and I hated people who wanted to tell me what to do and who wanted to help me. I felt like everybody was just fakers. I went to my doctor so many times because I needed my doctor to prove me that nothing is physically wrong with me. I still feel like she has like crazy written down in my file, and I felt like people were really not taking me seriously. At that time I was like, yeah, I came this far, I basically almost hit rock bottom, meaning that I needed help. Talking from my point of view now, needing therapy is definitely not hitting rock bottom, and I'm actually glad that that is how I saw it, because I decided that I'm going to solve this for myself. And once I decided that I wanted to put an end to all of this, that is when change started appearing. So every time I was gonna have an attack, whatever, or I was gonna start feeling like something's wrong, I was just like, yeah, this is nothing, this is just in your head, you're making it up, you're just basically overreacting, making it worse than it is. The way it appeared just out of the blue, it also disappeared. So this is why I'm telling you that there is not a specific solution that I found to solve this. Basically, it was just a simple decision. This is when I also did one of the biggest decisions in my life. I was gonna go study abroad. It was not the only reason, but I had this enormous fear within me that I'm not capable of living on my own somewhere so far from everything that I know, that it will cause me to have panic attack, or it will increase my anxiety and all that, and therefore I got scared of potentially that happening. I always say that I'm glad that I stayed here, and I am, but this is one example of this disorder actually influencing your everyday life. It influenced an enormous decision about my life, and I think if I didn't have that back in the day, my life right now could have been completely different. I was slowly taming my anxiety through the next year. Up to this day, I think it happens maybe 3 times a year, but it doesn't come anywhere close to how far it has gotten 5 years ago. It just kind of appears, and then I question myself a little bit, and then I try to suppress it with my mind, telling myself that everything's fine, that this is just an anxiety trying to mess with me again. The problem that I have now is that I don't trust my feelings anymore. Something hurts me, for example, when I feel some pain inside of me, I don't trust it. I always think maybe I'm just making it up, but then I start panicking about not panicking. Not being able to trust yourself is really shitty, believe me. I want to do a very brave move in my life, and then this doubt appears, like, but can you really do that without physically and mentally collapsing? And I'm basically hoping that it will not happen again, although I think I'm not 100% safe of it, because I have never professionally properly cured it. I just kind of suppressed it, I think, and I still notice how it wants to come out to the surface every time a bit more stress appears in my life. The best way is actually to seek professional help, because there's nothing weird about it. Everybody, like so many people, have this. Read about it. It really helped me when I found out that I was not the only one having this problem. I think Tumblr was the place where I found so many people with similar problems. Talk to other people who are in the same boat with you and try to laugh it off, because the only message that I can give you is that it gets better if you only want it to bad enough, and if you decide to make a change. Happy life!